Yo, we're in the woods today. I was just taking a stroll, trying to identify more of these trees to tag for some timber stand improvement. These woods are like loaded with black cherries. Almost every tree that you see here, marked or unmarked, is a black cherry. And there's just some like maples poking through across this entire 16 acres. I think I have counted four oak trees. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, as I was tagging trees and taking a stroll, I was just thinking more about y'all's comments and my thoughts about what is the fear of visibility truly costing us? Like what is behind that veil? Like what could we possibly experience that we're not? And then I just started envisioning this like bubble wrap suit that we're theoretically putting ourselves in just to protect ourselves from embarrassment. And then more I thought about that, it's like, yo, we're also protecting ourselves from experiencing a sensational life and experiencing a life that we want, and how unfortunate it is that like this desire to be seen is so widespread, but it's also something that we're all the most afraid of. And so, yeah, you're not alone in that boat, but also like try to get in the boats where there's fewer people of just like, how am I going to break through and just, yeah, like share myself more, share my ideas more, share my thoughts more. I was just thinking about like a cost of staying behind that veil is not having simple conversations that in and of themselves 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour with a stranger or with somebody that you know, how much that could be a catalyst to propelling you towards the life that you want. What types of relationships are we not forming because either we're not talking about a certain thing, we're not allowing ourselves to be in certain rooms or in certain spaces, that can really just add meat to the bones that have been on your mind. That idiom is so weird, but if you're not seen doing the thing that you want to do, nobody will ever make that association in their minds for you. Because if they don't know you to want or need or like that you're even daydreaming about something, then they won't make associations in their mind when resources come across their desk or like when ideas come in their mind of possible collaborations or just like ways to actualize or just add value or add momentum to the thing that you're building. um, and so that in and of itself is a huge reason to put yourself out there, put your ideas out there and go for it and allow yourself to be seen. Also, just like what business ideas are we not allowing to breathe and take form to add value to our lives and our families' lives, but also everyone that they would affect, that you would be serving through your business, the problems that you would be solving by furthering your idea, right? Um, and so not only would you be missing out on just the enjoyment of like doing it as what it is that you want, but also you're robbing other people of that experience or that service or that product that could make their lives echelons times better. And also you're modeling going after what you want and overcoming that fear of visibility and encouraging others to do the same because again, this is something that affects all of us. Um that is a universal feeling of that vulnerability and just trying to shy away from that because oh no, like we're strong, I have it all figured out, like I don't need any help, I'm cool, I'm just gonna fade in the background. But it's like no, life is meant to be lived, so literally just jump in. A lot of themes that I also saw was like wanting to control the narrative that is in somebody else's mind. Could you think about that? A huge reason that we do not want to put ourselves out there is because we're afraid of what people might think. And on the surface, it's like, yeah, that is how I'm feeling. But think about what the alternative is. Do you think that you can control the thoughts of millions of people, thousands of people, hundreds of people? That is so unrealistic. So why allow such an unrealistic charge to govern what you do and don't do? I remember I used to be, this is a whole nother video that I really want to make sometime soon. But I remember um when my relationship with the Lord really ignited. It was in January of 2020. And I was so excited and I was just like talking about him and I was like reading Bible verses online and I was, yeah, just like talking about yeah, like what the Lord was doing at that time, and like how he was uh like ministering to me. And I was talking about it online, and I had to overcome some fears of, oh my gosh, people are going to think that I'm like a Jesus freak or like a Bible thumper or that I have religious psychosis or whatever. Can you imagine? I mean, yeah, that's what people, especially in our generation, be saying. Like, if you talk about Jesus, it's like, oh, I understand because I used to be that way too. But anyway, I was like, yeah, I don't care. I just want to like shine. I want to talk about it. And then months into that, someone from my old neighborhood, we were texting, and he was like, oh, he lived in a communal house and with like what, eight other people or something. And he was like, we were talking about you at dinner last night. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, people were saying that you just became this crazy Jesus freak ever since you closed your farm in Philly, that you yeah, like Bible thumper, that you're tripping, that you just lost your mind, that you did this and that. And mind you, he's telling me all these things and he's in on this conversation. I asked him about the duration and he said that it was for quite a while, which lets me know that you're also an op. Okay. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But all of that, I remember the sensation that came through my body of just this embarrassment of being this focal point of somebody's criticism. But then eventually I also began thinking, like, could you imagine sitting down at dinner and not talking about your hopes and your dreams and your plans and your goals or your day or your da 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 about something that's going on with you, but instead you're talking about somebody else and you're trashing them. You sound like so much fun. And then when I started thinking about that more, it was like, right, people are going to be peopling. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying in my other video, it's like when you just start something or when you're just trying to formulate something or when you're super vulnerable trying to get something off of the ground, like people are going to project their insecurities or their criticism or maybe their true thoughts onto whatever it is that you do. It doesn't matter. Yo, you could be walking your dog. You could be filming yourself walking your dog down the street. People are going to criticize your leash. They're going to criticize your pace of walking. They're going to criticize whatever treats you're trying to give me. I'm saying, like, people are going to people. Like, it does not matter. So and you can't control what anybody is going to do or say or think because we know that that is what people have tendencies for is gossip, gossip, gossip instead of talking about and trying to figure out ways to actualize what's on their mind. Okay, it's literally just a matter of like reframing. One thing that I had started to do was to like hear those narratives come through. Sometimes people would just tell me directly and like project their fear onto me or their criticism or their whatever suggestions. Um, and I would continue talking, but say, I know that some of you think this, I know that some of you think that, or if it's in a conversation between you and somebody that you're close to, like state it up front. Hey, I know that you think this about this, and I'm still going to continue because of X, Y, Z. You're demonstrating that, like, yo, it does not matter what fear you have or what criticism you have about this thing. I'm going to continue. That exudes such strength because, again, everybody has this fear of vulnerability, but you're saying, yo, I have that same fear and I'm going to keep going. Ooh, fuego. There's this movie that I cannot put my finger on, whereas these like zombie creatures or something, and they smell human activity or they smell progress, and they immediately lock in and they go try to like, you know what I'm saying, like off the humans. And yeah, it's similar. It's like we have such selective attention, and so if you're talking about something and that triggers something in somebody else, it's going to come across as like hate or judgment or XYZ, and it might be all those things, but the source of it is jealousy. The source of it is insecurity. And the more that we can have that understanding in our mind, the more steady our feet will be when we're walking forward. And a lot of times, the way that we try to like evade this feeling of like taking up space. We just play so small. Like I see it in myself. I see it in other people, just like laughing after you make a serious statement, or just saying these qualifiers like, oh, this might sound dumb. This might sound stupid. I might be so dumb. I'm like crazy. No, apologizing before you speak, or just like not posting anything ever. Like, it's just so ridiculous. I remember being in this relationship, child. This is a whole nother video. But I could not get him to like really hear me unless I talked like a baby. If I wanted to if I wanted to bring up a concern or just ask for something that was substantial, maybe it's like a change in behavior, or maybe it's just like a change of tone, or maybe we're trying to work through an issue or something. Like if I was talking like this, like literally like calmly, smiling even, being vulnerable, taking like um being accountable to myself, no attack, I would be called aggressive. But if I knew that if I really wanted this change to happen in the relationship, I would have to talk like a baby and make myself so small that it was sort of like the change would happen because of this like piety or this pity or this like power issue that was so present in the relationship in retrospect, after years of reflecting on it. But anyway, so yeah, it's like that same it's a shame. No, I don't think I've ever said that out loud. Like, unless I talk like a baby, I would not be taken seriously. Um, anyway, so in a lot of the rooms that we're in, it's like maybe you're not talking like a baby. Maybe not. But yeah, maybe you're doing all those things, just like over apologizing and just like over self-deprecating or just like just playing so small that that eventually gives so many messages to your psyche of you are small and you can't do blah 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 blah. Flip that script, say what you're trying to say, speak so as to be understood. You know what I'm saying? Like, enter with presence. You don't have to shrink. Life is so short. We're all about, you say it with me, we're all about to be 80 years old. All of us are about to be 80 years old. And what do the 80-year-olds be saying on YouTube? 90-year-olds. I wish I just wasn't so in my head all the time. Yo, listen. Smart people have to learn from others too. Like they be telling you, you know? These flies are insane. All other people are also in their heads. It's like, give them an invitation. Be so kind to give them an invitation to not be by demonstrating that you don't have to be when you move through this life. Anyway, all right. Thanks for listening to this random this random one. I'm about to go make some chicken curry. Like, I'm hungry. All right. I will see you tomorrow in the next video. Bye.